Hi, we are here today with Brian Long. Brian had a hair transplant only 10 short months ago and has some significant improvement here. He's going to tell you about. We're going to look at some pictures and see how other people could have the same advantages that Brian had.
Hi. I think to say that life-changing would be the biggest understatement. I had lived with thinning hair for years, had my grandfather on my mother's side, of course, was almost completely bald. And I had thought about it, and then I got engaged to a wonderful woman, and I wanted to do something for the wedding, you know, for me, for us, for her, and I researched on the internet, and I, of course, came across some of the standards sites like Bosley and others, and looked at it, and it wasn't about the money, it was about the results, being comfortable, and I kind of saw some things that talked about horror stories and scarring, and looked at that, and I thought, well, let me go to some board and see if I can find who they say are the top doctors, and I came across Dr. Tim Love, and he was one of the top rated in the nation, and it just so happened he was right here in Oklahoma. And I talked to my wife one night, or fiance at the time, and said, I think this is something I want to do. What do you think? And she said, I think if it'll make you happy, go for it. And I still wasn't quite convinced, so I called my dad, and my dad is an ex-high school principal, so he's very, straightforward, and I asked him, and he said, I think you ought to do it. And so called, made an appointment, came in, met Dr. Love, met Claire and the staff, and we decided the wedding's coming up. Do you want to do it next week? And I said yes, and have not given it a second thought since that time. And it's so funny to see pictures of myself here versus the person I see in the mirror now. And I had told Claire when we talked once that I had gone to a funeral for somebody that I grew up around, and I was with some of my old high school classmates, and they all just, you're so bald, my gosh, I heard you were bald, but I didn't know. But then after this procedure and after the wedding, we had another funeral that we went to, and I ran into another group of classmates, and everybody said, you don't look a bit different than you did in high school.
Oh.
You've got some gray, but that to me, I knew is it, and
Proof positive.
Unfortunately, my caps have now all been retired. I have literally not worn a cap since having this done. Now I wear visors so I can have my hair sticking out the top. But
I love it.
Short of that,
Well, I want to kind of zoom around here and kind of take a look at this wonderful new hair, and then we're going to take a look at your before pictures so that you can have such a dramatic view of what's happened. This is the area, as usual, right in here where the excision is made. And as you can see, it's negligible. That's the harvesting site. It's immediately closed. And then the grafts are placed where they are needed. In Brian's situation, there were 1,500 grafts done. They are multi-hair grafts. Now we'll get to look at this fun part here. This is the part that's very amazing. Here's Brian on January 19th of 2011. Today is October 14th of 2011. This forehead and this top now is this amazing result. This is one of these remarkable stories where the hairline, he now has a hairline that was formerly this. The back of his head as well, that we looked at a moment ago previously, was in this condition, and now Brian is proud to say this is what he has to show for it. Again, significant difference. And this isn't the largest amount of a hair graft transplantation that could have been done. This was 1,500 grafts. He can always do more now. This is a starting point, and when you get this enthusiastic about the results, it's like, yes, could I have more, please? Right?
Absolutely.
So, as far as can you tell us just briefly about what your the procedure was like here, the pain level, that sort of thing that people might be kind of curious about?
I can't say that it was painless, but it was near painless. I mean, first of all, the staff puts you at such ease that it's just amazing. You'd almost think that you were having this done with family members. And then they come in. I think the most painful part I remember was the first shot to numb it, and it's just a shot.
Right.
After that, the actual harvesting in the back, I knew he was doing something, but absolutely no pain.
Right.
when they were putting the plugs in. Again, no pain whatsoever. And then afterwards, a headache is about as best as you could describe it. I mean, it was, a little discomfort in the area for maybe a day to a day and a half, and then after that, I had it done on a Thursday, I believe, and was back at work the next Monday and wasn't affected at all.
Isn't that great?
Not at all.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Knowledge is power, and being able to understand the simplicity of this and the effectiveness of it, to me, is huge.
Right.
And to have someone with your nice personality, you're a walking testimonial, but thank you so much. This is going to help so many people looking on our site to be able to say, look, here's a guy, look at this incredible result, and it was an easy thing to do.
Oh, and let me correct myself. It's grafts, not plugs. I remember when I first came in, I mentioned something about plugs, and plugs are what the people remember the old Cupid dolls looking like.
Right.
The grafts, whether it had, I remember the literature of the 1, 2, 3, or multiple hairs in this graft, and nobody can tell. I can't tell, and I mean, surely.
Let's look one more time, shall we? Yeah, the type of procedure that's done here, they even take such great care to make sure that when they plant the grafts, that they are in the right direction. I mean,
absolutely,
they are just wonderful. They've been doing it for 30 years.
Well, and this is my hair just getting up, shower. There's no gel, hairspray.
I love it.
It's all natural. This is just how it is.
You gotta love it. Well, I appreciate your time today, and moreover, you're a walking testimonial.
And I appreciate you all. You made my life completely different.
Well, same to you. Thank you so much, Brian.
You're welcome.